Today, one of the most important business lessons you're gonna ever learn. And you better learn it, because if not, you could be broke, bankrupt, or out of business. What's up, guys? So we're at the Pete and Pedro warehouse, and what are we talking about today, Matt?
Inventory.
Why is inventory important, Zavi?
Because you can have too much.
Which is something we have right now. We have over $600,000 more inventory than we should have at the warehouse. And so before I get into this and tell you the whole story, I want to give you a deal. Right now, limited time, Zavi, hand me a salt. If you buy a salt, all right, you're going to get a Bold shampoo for free. You're also going to get the half-ounce texture powder for free. All right, there's going to be a special link down below. I just wanted to do that because, well, we've got too much inventory and we got too much of everything. So come with me. That link is going to be down below if you guys want to help us out. So this isn't even getting us started. All right, so as you can see, the shelves at Pete and Pedro are absolutely packed to the gills. All right, we are as packed as we've ever been. There's not a single, there's not a single open bay that we have here at the warehouse. All right, we also have packaging hanging out here. We've got more packaging over here. We've got this right here down on the floor. Well, I've got another 27 pallets that are coming on Monday of sea salt spray. And this is a problem, all right? Now, some of you might think, okay, hey, it's a lot of inventory. You can sell it. Well, yes, we can eventually sell it. But the problem is that as long as it's sitting here on the shelves, it is literally dead dollar bills. You can't pay your light bills with sea salt spray hanging out on the shelves. Now, one of the reasons why it started to get crazy in terms of inventory is during COVID, things got really weird, right? Delays in everything, delays in packaging, and so we had to start over ordering. Well then, last year, we basically got kicked in the inventory nuts because one of our labs that was making most of our ingredients or most of our product basically said, hey, we are going to raise the minimum order quantity for all of the orders to 25,000 units. Now, 25,000 of anything is a huge amount of money. Certain SKUs, it's cool. Like sea salt spray, we move a tremendous amount of sea salt spray. So we're like, okay, no big deal. We typically order about 120,000 bottles at a time. But something else just happened. Actually, I'll get to that in a second. So 25,000 units of putty, not the end of the world because we move a lot of it. But one of the things you've got to figure out and you've got to understand, and you've got to get your hands around when you actually have a business is how much inventory do you actually need based on your sales trajectory. And once you know how much you're selling, then you got to figure out how long is it going to take you to get a new order or inventory when you place an order. It's a numbers game. It all boils down to the numbers. How much inventory do you need to keep on hand versus how long is it going to take that vendor manufacturer to basically get you a new order? And then you really just got to back out of the numbers. You don't want to have 3 years worth of inventory of any product because it just doesn't make sense. And so for us, we have done a really good job over the last few years of getting that inventory like really dialed in. And what we found is that before COVID, basically it was 500,000. We could have on hand $500,000 worth of inventory, and we knew how long it was going to take to sell out that inventory, how long it was going to take us to get new inventory, and it was pretty much like a well-oiled machine. And so I, as the entrepreneur, had to have $500,000 of dollar bills sitting on the shelf in inventory. Okay, cool. Now, today, after I get this order of salt, I'm going to have $1.4 million worth of inventory hanging out on the shelves. So this was literally a $900,000 swing. Now, that being said, because of COVID, the inventory requirements based on the fact that now we have to basically buy some of our packaging, which is going to have to stay here until we have to place an order and then we ship it out. That's part of the, what's up, Dougie? What's up, buddy? What's up? What's up? What's up? Dougie. Dougie's worried about inventory too. What? Get that dog. What was I saying? So because we're having to basically keep more inventory based on the fact that our minimum order quantities are going up a little bit, this and that, we figured out that around $800,000 is kind of like our new $500,000, which is an extra $300K out of the pocket on the shelves. Well, now, because a lot of these vendors have basically increased their minimum order quantity, not to mention, we've had to change vendors for certain SKUs because the one vendor that was charging us or trying to make us order 25,000 units at a time, it was like a non-starter. It's like, I can't order 25,000 units of, call it, Bold shampoo because it literally will take us, it would literally take us like 5 years to sell through that amount. And so we basically had to do a bunch of math. We had to do a bunch of like squeezing and changing vendors and reformulating. And unfortunately, the place that I'm in now is $1.4 million, which I got to get down. I got to get that down to around $800,000. So like I said, it's a numbers game. It's about basically just making sure that you've got enough on staff, not too much, but you don't want to run out of inventory. One of the other downsides is that we are actually out of 4 SKUs. Now, is it the worst thing in the world? No, because the customers are probably going to come back, and on a Shopify website, if you're out of stock on something, you can sign up to be notified when you get it back in. And so we'll manage that. They weren't like the number 1, 2, or 3 SKUs, right? Our number 1 SKU is sea salt spray by a long shot. And then it's putty. And then after that, it's clay, clean and condition, the shampoos, also big SKUs. But our boost, right? The hair regrowth formula, that stuff has been flying off the shelves, and we are actually at risk of running out because we didn't anticipate the demand, which is something that you're also going to have to figure out. If you do something like some big marketing push, or if you have like a viral video, which is what happened with actually Stubble Buddy, whereas, let me show you, this is another issue and one of the reasons why I've got a problem, right? That palette up there, Stubble Buddy, Stubble Buddy, Stubble Buddy, Stubble Buddy, Stubble Buddy, all right? Is that it? Nope, another one, Stubble Buddy, right? I have 12,000 Stubble Buddies in stock. Now, the good news with that is that they don't expire, all right? It's gonna be good in another year from now. But one of the reasons why I placed that order of 12,000 Stubble Buddies is because I had a viral video on TikTok, and we were selling Stubble Buddies like crazy, and unfortunately, we went out of stock. The other problem is that it was going to take us like 3 months in order to get the new inventory. So I placed my order, and I thought that we could basically recreate that momentum. We haven't been able to recreate that momentum yet. Hopefully with the holiday season, we're going to be able to do that. But now, like, call it, if I have just easy math, if I've got 12,000 units and I've got, like, call it $10 in each unit, all right, how much money is that, right? I've got $120,000 worth of Stubble Buddies hanging out, and until they sell, it's literally $120,000 of profit that I basically put back into the business onto the shelves. And you can see how this starts to add up. And so another problem is that if your vendor sends you product early, that's also going to be an issue when you order at a large volume, which is what happened with us. Another thing that kind of added fuel to the fire is that we had one of our vendors that sells sea salt spray to us, right? We knew that, okay, it's going to take 3 months in order to get a shipment. And so we do all the numbers, we do all the math, and okay, we know when we need to pull the trigger to place a new order. And that's something else that you got to figure out when it comes to the numbers. Well, we knew that historically, and what they tell us, it's going to take 3 months. Well, what happens if they ship that order in a month and a half? What happens? Now all of a sudden, I've got to pay for 20,000 units a month and a half before I was able to sell the inventory I had in order to basically recoup the cash, which is another problem that we're facing here at Pete and Pedro. They basically ended up getting us like 120,000 units a month and a half early and shipping it to us. And so I had to basically spend the money. And so that's why there are other reasons why we have so much inventory, and it's a problem. Now, hopefully throughout the year, the rest of the year, we'll be able to sell through. All right? something else that I'm going to end up doing, and this is just another business lesson, for the holiday season, a lot of people get crazy, right? Black Friday, Cyber Monday, this and that. And they end up giving away the farm. They don't make any money. Me, I am a capitalist. I want to make money. And so I understand the value of building a brand. I understand the value of getting customers your products and them trying it and loving it and whatever. I'm not going to lose money. And so what you can do when you are overstocked is, instead of giving a discount, like a discount code, right, give away free product, right? Gift with purchase. And that's what I'm going to end up doing here with Pete and Pedro. I've got so much inventory in certain SKUs that I got to get out the door that I'm going to end up using that as the incentive to get people to shop during the holiday season. Now, will sales go down a little bit because I'm not giving away 40% off plus a free salt and a putty? Yeah, probably. But guess what? It doesn't matter. I can't afford not to get this inventory out the door. And so that's just a little thing that I'm dealing with. And I just wanted to share kind of what's going on, because this is such an important lesson that you've got to understand. So many people think that they're going to basically just have all these sales, and so they over order. And if they don't sell it, right, and this is really dangerous when it comes to things that expire, all right? If you've got a product that has an expiration date or goes bad, this is even more of an issue. Because think about it. If you've got 2 years worth of inventory, but it goes bad in 12 months, what's going to happen? You're going to basically have to throw out 12 months worth of inventory because it expires or goes bad. And so that's another reason why it is so incredibly critical that you figure out the inventory equation. And so I just really wanted to talk about this today because, yes, we're having a problem. B, I wanted to give you a deal. And C, I just need to kind of showcase and explain in a real world kind of environment what happens when you've got too much inventory. It is a strain on your business. I have literally $600,000 tied up in inventory products that I can't use for marketing. I can't use to pay employees. I can't use to buy new products, or I can't use it. It's literally kind of just like sitting here, and I'm not earning interest or anything like that, right? It's not like a money market where you're getting 3% on the cash that you put there. No, it's all just hanging out on the shelves. It's not keeping up with inflation, nothing, right? And so you really need to think through your inventory. And I personally would err on the side of order less than you think you're going to sell, because you can always order more. Because think about it. If you order 1,000 units and all of a sudden you realize, oh man, these things are going to sell out like really quick, after day 1, you could literally place another order. Day 2, day 3. But if you order 5,000 and you realize, oh crap, nobody wants a red t-shirt in a small, right? You've got all these dollar bills that are sitting on a shelf you can't use, and you could potentially never ever sell it, which is something else with apparel. You've got to be careful, because I cannot stress to you the importance of managing inventory and cash flow. And your inventory is one of the things you better figure out, you better dial in. Something else I want you to dial in before I let you go is having amazing hair. So right now, limited time, baby, you're getting a deal. If you buy a sea salt spray, which is amazing, and if you're not using a sea salt spray, do you even have good hair? The answer is no. Sea salt spray, what are you getting? For free, you're getting a bold shampoo, because I got too much of this, and I also am throwing in a free half-ounce texture powder. This stuff is amazing. Right now, limited time, while supplies last. You know, coincidentally, it's going to last for a while, so there's a link down below. Don't wait. Help your boy out. What do you think? Read them in inventory?
Only have the right amount.
Only have the right amount, because why, Zavi?
Too much is bad.
Too much is no bueno. What is bueno is you. You're amazing. See you next time. Link below. Do it now.